More responsibility, less novelty, less time with friends and partners. Story 1. I am 33 and currently exist in a state where I have to feel grateful because I know how lucky and fortunate I am, while simultaneously feeling existential dread, unfulfilled, and generally aimless. Story 2. A friend of mine is that age, and I cannot understand why he is not happier. The guy works out every day, reads a couple of books a month, and has sex 3 times a week. Even with all that, all he wants to do is complain about being in prison. Story 3, 45. Divorced now for nearly 4 years, and it's been awesome. I am doing well professionally, spend every day with my kid, and travel 4 to 5 times a year. There's no stress at home, and I save more now than ever before. Peace, quiet, freedom. Story 4, 35 to 45 was probably just about my happiest decade. I loved being a dad in the post-diaper years. Teaching the kids about everything in the world and letting them help with all the dad stuff there is to do around the house. A long time ago, one of my uncles was widowed in his mid-40s, and his kids both went to college. A year or so later, he was married to a woman who had just turned 31, and a year after that, they had a new baby. Some people were critical about that, but now I understand it. He met a woman who wanted to be a mom, and instead of thinking, I already did that and I'm done, his attitude was, being a dad is great. Story 5, tired. My industry has been devastated, with little to no work on the horizon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. My dog died, but my oldest child keeps asking me to read The Hobbit. So there's that. Story 6. I am the happiest I have ever been. I have sworn off relationships and have all the casual sex I want. I quit drinking and smoking. I am making great money, surrounded by amazing friends, and living life to the fullest. I hit the gym, golf whenever I feel like it, and travel at will. I go to concerts and events. I am active in my community, attending fundraisers, grand openings, galas, celebrations, and ceremonies. I swim naked, cook my meals from scratch, read a lot of books, and take time to watch sunsets. Life is good. Story 7. My wife is amazing, and my children are healthy. I volunteer for a major cancer fundraiser in my city, and I'm working on an undergraduate degree. I'm a slave to my job. I have an amazing pension and wages, but absolutely zero fulfillment. 60 hours a week that just drains me, but I'm not my job and I find meaning outside of it. Story 8. If you are a man in corporate America, ages 35 to 45 can be a challenging time. You are at a point in your career where you have significant time commitments and responsibilities, but you are not quite high enough to be able to control your time commitments. Also, that is the age where your family life revolves around your kids. As a result, your marriage and personal time tend to not be prioritized, which can lead to stress and burnout. Story 9. I am 43 and married to my best friend, and we have 2 wonderful children together. My career is on an upward progression, and I'm building my skills as a leader. If I can make one recommendation, it's to get your testosterone levels checked. If the numbers are low, consider testosterone replacement therapy options. It undeniably changed my life for the better. Story 10. My life dipped in my late 30s. I went to the doctor for a full blood panel. My testosterone levels were under 100. I've been on track for 6 years, and I look and feel better than I ever have, and I was an athlete in my younger days. Story 11. This age range has probably been the happiest I have been, maybe ever. Being a kid or teenager was great, but I had to deal with kid or teenager stuff. My 20s were when I was really unhappy, not working the jobs I wanted and not having much money. Now I have a family, house, and wife. Life is good. Story 12. Not the best. Made a job change that made life extremely difficult under the impression that I was moving up and on to a better company. Bad choice. Story 13, 37. 2 kids. They are both in all-day school. I am in the best shape of my life now. I am pretty darn happy. Kids are delightful when they are not trying to kill each other. Story 14. Life is difficult. There is no love from people. You cannot enjoy hobbies without being ousted for your age. I did musical theater. I cannot do that anymore unless I play as an old man or a pervert and keep to myself instead of making friends. No matter what I do, I cannot find someone willing to get to know me. I got a dog though. Story 15, 39. Let's see. Left my band, left my ex, cut my mom out of my life due to brutal behavior. My dad died, had a knife pulled on me just a few days ago. But I got the van. Story 16. Mentally and physically struggling with work and requirements is difficult. It's affecting my health. However, all things considered, I'm alive, have a roof over my head, and many opportunities. Could be much worse, so I'm grateful. Story 17, 35 to 45 was great. Great wife, great kids. I was in a high-demand field where finding another job, if necessary, was easy. 45 to 55, less great. Same great wife and kids. But I just feel older. And I am more advanced in my career, almost too successful. The work is very stressful, and I know at my level if I lose this job, the only way is down. The great wife and kids are depending on me to provide for them. There's a lot of stress. Gained a lot of weight during COVID and never took it off. So now I just feel older in every way possible. Story 18, this is hard. Definitely in the grind of life, trying to build a life for my children so they won't have to work as hard as me. Then trying to hold on to the marriage that I feel has been slipping from my grasp for the last few years since having our daughters through no fault of our own. Trying to be a role model and example of how a man should be so that our daughters grow up not accepting scum into their lives. Still trying to find myself under all the layers of responsibility to others. Hopefully, be out the other side in a couple of years with the house finished, my wife and I in a happier place. The girls will be a bit older and more independent. It's hard not to wish your life away, but with so many things in the air, I find myself longing for a simpler time to come. Story 19. I feel amazing right now. I have an awesome wife and I'm about to hit 10 years with her in the spring. I got laid off twice during the COVID-19 pandemic. I struggled and got into a ton of debt, then took a new job. As soon as I took the job, my business that I had been trying to push took off. I essentially worked 2 jobs for a year and got us out of $30,000 in debt. I was able to leave my day job and start my own business. We just moved in yesterday, signed 3 new clients this week, and are wondering if we need to hire somebody. I feel like I'm living the dream right now. Story 20. Turning 40 this year and doing great. I'm getting older, but my life is coming together fine, and I'm looking forward to an early retirement. My house is paid off, I have no debt, savings are building up slowly, and I have time for my hobbies. It's only getting better since I accepted that I'll probably die alone. Story 21. I'm having a pretty solidly bad day today, mostly because some people at work decided the theme of the day was Forget You, Baltimore Nerd, but in aggregate, I'm pretty happy with my life. Story 22. Hello, I am 44, divorced, single dad. I am doing okay. I have a job, a house, a car, debt, a gym membership, and I have my ultimate goal of going on a week's vacation to Bora Bora. Story 23. I'm happier than I was in my early to mid-20s, but my late 20s to early 30s were the happiest point in my life. My career has stagnated, and I feel like I've run out of time and options to live the sort of life I wanted to live, so I've been gradually growing more melancholy with time. Story 24. On average, I'd say happier than ever. Good career, good health, good gym routine, and have so much time to work on my hobby and minimal family obligation. If I was to sum all this up in one word, freedom. Story 25. I have started to get erectile dysfunction at 43. Heart is fine, but low testosterone. I am taking a pill, but the erection feels fake. Sex is now scheduled and a chore. Story 26. I just turned 40 and am very happy. I started a company when I was 27. It's now mature, makes good money, and is mostly run by other people. I'm engaged to a wonderful woman with my first child on the way. I lift weights 4 to 5 times per week, am in good health, have a good circle of close friends and family. Everyone I love is healthy and doing okay, and I get enough time to myself doing things I love, like playing video games, reading, learning, and walking my dogs. I'm a lot wiser, calmer, less stressed, healthier, and more confident in my skin than I was 10 years ago. Story 27. I have too many half-started things and no time to do them. My hobbies just wait and I want to get to them, but not today. I hate taking all this pain medication too. Story 28. I'm 38 and single. I have no compromises, no obligations, no liabilities, no debts. I'm in a stable place financially and I'm traveling. I meet new people regularly and have been making great friends. My time is mine, my choices are mine, my resources are mine. Life is pretty good and I'm the happiest I've ever been in a really long time. I'm fortunate to have what I have. The main reason I have the freedom that I have is because I'm not tethered to relationship obligations. Relationships aren't bad, but existing independently of one is a valid life choice. I'm glad I've taken that path. Story 29. I'm 42, and I am happy. The happiness comes from the fulfillment of exceeding goals for myself and providing for my family. The pleasure, dopamine side of happiness doesn't come around as often as it did in my 20s, but it was not as consistent as knowing I'm getting things accomplished daily. Story 30. 42-year-old male. A number of things happened over the past year that have made things much, much better than they have been in a very long time. The two big ones were the household income going up significantly, and my girlfriend and I both getting on antidepressants and seeing therapists. It was rough there for a while, though, and we're both still working our way back to where we want to be, individually as well as together. Story 31. I am 38, loving it. But I am part of a dual income, no kids couple with an attractive wife and high-earning job. So things have worked out well for me. I can imagine my life would be very different if I had a few children, an average wage, and a wife who ignored my existence. Story 32. 44, and this is the best year of my life. 35 to 39 were the worst. My wife had decided I was the source of all her unhappiness and emotionally abused me daily. I finally had enough and divorced her 6 months before I turned 40. Best decision. Life has been getting better every year since. Story 33. New house in the countryside. New attitude to work. When I'm off, do not contact me. And generally very happy with my wife and 3 kids. Unfortunately, I've also had more health issues appear this year than in the previous 10 years combined, and it has me a bit worried. Story 34. I'm 55. Home through marriage number 1 on to number 2. Yeah, 35 to 45 was difficult. There was this never-ending pressure to get things done, even for men. Buy a house, have a family. I rushed into both, married someone younger, and regretted it. Mind you, I'm much happier now, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't done that sooner. Married someone my own age and have a great life with a good woman. Story 35. 36, I think, is going through a rough breakup and in my 3rd month of silence, or I should say, let everyone in my life go because they are not serving a purpose in my life. Story 36. Mid-30s, and I'm at the end of my rope. I'm just checked out, going through the motions and wrapping up some loose ends before I check myself out early. I'm done. Story 37. 27 and things are going great, but I am not feeling good at all. I just finished my master's degree, got a good job and moved to a new city. So everything is fine, but I still feel bad. Story 38. 40 and doing great. Love my wife, love my kids. They're old enough that they're not in baby or toddler hell and young enough to not be angsty teens. Doing well in my job even if I'd like to be making a bit more money. But who wouldn't? In great shape all things considered, though I'm dealing with a few more nagging injuries than I'd like. And I could stand to lose 15 pounds. My blood pressure and cholesterol are the best they've been in years, too, after some minor lifestyle changes. Honestly, I can't really complain. Story 39. My wife is awesome. I have 4 dogs. We are trying for our first and probably only child. I am a vice president at work. Things could not really be better, but I would invite life to try. Story 40. This is the hardest time in my life without a doubt. I have a lot to be grateful for, which I am, but I endlessly put everyone else's needs ahead of my own to keep the ship afloat. Story 41. If I could get more than 4 hours of sleep a night, I would be so happy. With my family's schedule, my career, and my wife's business, that's all the sleep I'm able to get. Over the last 10 years of this, I've learned that the whole night owl or early bird thing is nonsense. You are whatever your particular level of responsibility dictates you to be. Story 42. I'm 68 and went through a midlife crisis in my early 40s and got my ex and me into the swinging and polyamorous lifestyle. That chapter is now called How to Blow Up a 26-Year Good Marriage. Fortunately, we were in a polyamorous group with a much younger couple, and when the whole thing blew up, the 17-year younger wife wanted me instead of her ex. She'd been married to him for 9 years, and I had given her more orgasms per week than he gave her their entire married life. She said that sex with him was 2 pokes and a giggle. We've been together 22 years now and have become incredibly close. I found what I'd been looking for, being spiritually one with a woman and making sex more about spiritual connection than it is about the physical release makes lovemaking a spiritual adventure that's never boring. Story 43. 2 young, happy, and healthy kids that are the main source of my happiness. My wife and I both have good jobs, a nice house, great friends and family, but if we're being honest, I'm not doing well at all these days. Story 44. I am 43 and miserable. I am married to a woman I love, and we get along great. We have 2 teenage kids who, by all measures, are great little humans, both on scholarship tracks. I make good money at a job I'm genuinely good at. I know I should just accept that I've got it good, but I can't help but hate how badly we, as a species, are messing it up. If we all just work together, this could be a utopia, but the chances of that happening are less than 0. We'll just continue to live in this greed-fueled landfill until we manage to destroy ourselves. Story 45. More responsibility, less novelty, less time with friends and partners. Better finances with less effort, not divorced, no change in free time or entertainment, no change in responsibility. Novelty is on you. It is what you make of it, like anything else. There's no point in talking about things that happen naturally with age because nobody is immortal, and it's also what you make of it. Honestly, things tend to get better for me, at least because I'm always evolving and learning new tricks as I gain more experiences. I tend to treat life a lot like a strategy game. The older I get, the more I learn how true that saying "don't hate the player" is and how to beat the games. I think the 35 to 45 spot can be a rough spot for people's working lives. That's the point in your life where many feel they deserve better but haven't hit that sweet spot closer to 50 where your credibility at work can start to really pay off in terms of work less and make more. The early part of a career has novelty, the middle can be a grind, and the end can be a coast if you play your cards well.